Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Postables! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined once again by my good friend, Alex, to talk about Signed, Sealed, Delivered, A Tale of Three Letters, directed by the fabulous Linda Lisa Hayter. The Postables are back identifying the intended recipients of a trio of dead letters, which have a surprising personal impact on all of them. Welcome back to the podcast, Alex. I'm excited to chat about this fantastic, beautiful movie with you.
Yes, thank you for having me back on, especially for this review, Nicole.
Of course.
This SSD movie, as all of us as fans, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Can't say anything bad about it because start to finish, the whole movie, everyone did a fantastic job in it. Eric Kristen, Rhiannon, Jeff Crystal, even the secondary cast, they were all amazing. And like this, even everything about the movie, like the letter stories, how they tied together and how it was connected to Charlie's character was amazing. How Martha weaved that, it was so good. And then obviously what was going on with Oliver and Shane, trying to navigate them two going through their first year of marriage, and then obviously Norman and Rita, who were trying to figure out how they were going to plan to adopt the baby. Just everything about the entire movie in general, it was beautifully written by Martha, but she always does an amazing job, so it's no surprise.
I agree. Martha blows me away every single time. I think my hot takes for this movie, of course, every episode and movie of this series is amazing, but I think this is one of the best that they have ever done.
100%.
And the wardrobe was on point.
We can never forget about the wardrobe because the girls always, Rita and Shane, they always look amazing in every movie, but this one especially.
Yeah, and the guys looked very dapper too.
Yes.
Valerie Halverson, the costume designer, always does a great job. So we should give her a round of applause too.
Right.
I would totally wear a lot of those outfits.
Oh, me too. 100%.
Yes. I think one of my favorites from Shane was the black and white flowy dress that she wore when her and Oliver went to see Maria. And then they told Rita and Norman about the adoption. Yeah.
Oh, the butterfly dress. Is that the one you were? I think
the black and white floral one. Yeah.
Yes. If I had to pick a favorite from Shane, it would definitely be the black leather dress because I have
that one too.
Similar in my closet, Nicole. I haven't worn it yet, but it's like a black short leather dress, and I have to wear it somewhere because it's so cute. But I love that the leather one too.
Yeah, and then I love the dress that Rita wore at the end, the pink and orange with the pink sweater. That one was really
it was the silk dress, like the silk, like pink.
I think so.
I think it was silk. I'm pretty sure it was silk. It was like the silk floral dress with like the little pink cardigan. Yeah, I love that too.
Yes, all the outfits were amazing.
Yeah.
But those were just two of my favorites that stuck out. And why don't, to start off this review, we talk about the letter story and Charlie. You want to share some overall thoughts before we really dive into it?
Yes. Yeah, so the letter story, like I said, it was very interesting because usually when we watch these movies, there's only one package or one letter that we have to follow. This one, there was three. So it was a little bit, for me personally, it took me 3 times to fully understand how the letters connected because I had to piece everything together. But I liked how they all connected back to Charlie.
Yeah.
I thought she did a great job, Martha, of, like I said in the beginning, of connecting it back to her.
Everything. Yeah, I agree. So we hear in the first DLO scene when Shane and Oliver return after their honeymoon, every letter was mailed from Garfield High School and recovered from a street drain and then accidentally sent to the terminal annex in Kansas City. Now, this is a callback to the vows we have made because the letter that they find at the end of that movie was found in a street drain.
Right. I didn't even pick up on that. Some of the callbacks I did pick up on, that one I did not.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty clever.
Yeah. It took 7 years to track and get them back to Denver. We find out a little bit later that it was a bomb scare that turned out to be a false alarm. Now, jumping ahead just a little bit, when Shane and Charlie are talking at Ramon's new restaurant, and Shane's
Yes.
telling her everything,
Mm-hmm.
and Charlie makes that face. Did you pick up on it right away?
Yes. I knew right
I
away
did.
I knew right away she had something to do with it. Just the look on her face, she was like, she goes, I could just tell by the expression on her face that she had something to do with it right away. I
Yep.
knew.
I didn't know what, but I knew actually when that sneak peek was released because we saw that scene before
Yes.
the movie aired,
Correct.
or part of it. Norman has a new invention to remove mold and flakes, which is a 4-step desiccation and revelation process, which is a callback and improvement on his revelation solution from Truth Be Told. So that is, which I love.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I
clever.
love that too. Yes.
Yeah. This is not related to the letter story, but to Charlie. And this is when they're all at Ramon's restaurant, and Joe is asking when she's going to come back to work, and Shane suggests that she bring Eleanor to the DLO,
right,
and have Joe set up a crib. And of course, Oliver's like, I don't know about that. Baby's in the workplace, and Shane says, "You are the ranking official in the dead letter office, darling." And
like Shane knows how to persuade her husband, so
yep. And when they all walk away to get their food, except for Shane and Oliver, I love how Shane starts to stand up and Oliver stops her and he says, "Don't get in the habit of assuming I'm willing to bend the postal rules just because we share the same mailbox."
That's one of my favorite Shane lines throughout the entire movie. I was cracking up when she said that. Like, say, Kristen had so many great lines in this, like comedic lines. Like, I could not stop laughing. It's so funny. That was definitely one of my favorites.
Can we please get more flirty Shane in the next week?
And snarky Shane, both, because Kristen does that so well. I mean, like you said, she does everything well in these movies. But yeah, when she does that, it's perfection.
Yes, I agree. I didn't pick up on this until someone on Twitter pointed it out, but in that scene, there's a point when you can see the building across the street, and the name of the shop is Linda Lisa's, which I wonder if that is a shout out to the director.
Right, I noticed that too, and I was wondering the same thing. It probably is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, which I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they included her.
Charlie graduated from Garfield High School in 2017. She doesn't remember a Maria, but she does remember Mrs. Philpot, who left the second semester of her senior year, but no one knows why. And then a little bit later on, we hear that it was Charlie's fault for the great mailbox breach.
Yes.
Not the bomb part, though, she says, which is good.
Yes. Yeah. Thankfully, it was not a bomb. I was happy to hear that.
Yes. Oliver's reaction and the way Eric played this was perfection.
It was so good. So good.
I am stunned. No, I'm flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted, I tell you.
Shane's just trying to talk him down. Like, it's okay. Right. Calm down.
Right. It was definitely over the top for Oliver, but I understand where he was coming from.
Yeah. Charlie says that she hung around 2 guys, Marlon and Barry, in high school. Marlon was a sweet one, and Barry was the crazy one. They saw the world the same way, read the same books, laughed at the same things. Barry was always thinking up crazy pranks, nothing mean, just creative,
Hmm.
which one of the examples she gives is putting the principal's morning announcements through an app that made him sound like Voldemort.
And then it
Deliver
would,
that.
yeah, but
Voldemort
the way he delivered it, Voldemort, she's like, I'll tell you later.
later.
First thing I thought about in that scene was my brother, because he's like the biggest Harry Potter fan ever, Nicole. So that's when I immediately thought of that. I was like, oh, it's a shout out to Harry Potter.
I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I do like Harry Potter, but
Hmm. Same
I
here.
thought that
My
was,
brother's like the big fanatic. I'm like, okay, you have fun with that.
yes. I haven't watched that in forever.
I think I mean, I've seen every single movie, but I only have like the first two on DVD. But my brother's seen like every single one of them over and over again. So
Yeah. The
he
last
loves
one
them.
I remember seeing was the
I know there's so many of them. You forget the names because there's so many
the
movies.
Order of the Phoenix
That's the fourth one.
in
That's the
Florida, or the one after that. I can't remember the name of that one, but
I can't remember.
yeah.
Although I think the Order of the Phoenix was the fifth one. The fourth one was the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen all of them, but I know I saw
yeah.
Order of the Phoenix. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure.
That was a good one. I mean, they're all good. Like you said,
Yeah.
you have to be into that genre to really
Yes.
like it. So.
But anyway, back to A Tale of Three Letters. The three friends had a thing about seizing the day,
Hmm.
but Charlie was always worried they'd get into trouble if they did so. Marlon and Barry teased her about it.
Hmm.
She eventually decided to prove she was just as creative by putting something in the mailbox that
Hmm.
would surprise the carrier.
Yes.
Example, a microphone with a voice yelling, "Let me out." But Barry wanted to put a cat in there. And again, Oliver, a cat. A
A
cat.
cat.
Again,
So.
perfection the way he delivered that.
Hmm.
They decided on a ticking alarm clock. Not such a good idea.
No, not because honestly, Nicole, if that was me and I was the mail carrier and the alarm didn't go off, I would honestly think it was a bomb too. If I heard ticking like that, I would honestly think it was a bomb. I would literally would. If I
Yeah,
heard
I
that
would
kind of
too.
slow ticking like that and like a ringing noise didn't go off, I would be like, I better run, like a bomb might be.
Yeah, I would think it too. If I didn't see it being put in there, I would think that's a
Right.
bomb.
Hmm.
Did you ever play any pranks in high school?
No, I was not that cool in high school.
I never was a prankster. Nope.
No. I
No.
mean, like senior year, like we had people that did pranks our senior year because we were like that we were the
Yeah.
senior class because everyone got to do that senior year of
Yeah.
high school. But no, I was never a part of it.
No,
Never.
I wasn't either. I
Mm-mm.
always followed the rules.
Me
Never
Same
got into
here.
trouble.
No, stay far away from trouble, Nicole.
Oh my goodness. But funny, this is not about getting in trouble, but when I was a senior, most high schools have a senior skip day.
Oh, we had that too. Yeah, we always got that.
When
Hmm.
all of my classmates skipped school, I was
Yeah.
the one that went to school.
No, I actually think my senior year we went. Did I think we went? No, did we go to school and then like a lot of us left early? I think that's what it was. I think we went to school and then a lot of us left at a certain time and we went to go like hang out somewhere. Like,
Yeah,
oh, we had no, that's what it was. We had like a senior barbecue in the back of our
that sounds
school,
fun.
and like everyone was like just hanging out and
Yeah,
like just like talking. That's what we did. Yep, that's what we did. It was fun.
yeah, I'm sure it was. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was the one that went to school on senior skip day.
I know there was like a lot of kids like that totally just didn't go to school at all. I went too, but then I left when like everybody else was like leaving. Me like I think me and my friends at the time we were coordinating a plan of what time we should leave the building. And we all went together. I don't know.
Well, all of my friends went to play paintball. I think that's what they did. I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was paintball.
That's funny. That's fun though.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But anyway, of course, the bomb squad had to detonate the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
And, Shane is saying it was just a silly prank. It was a federal offense, but not intentional. A federal offense.
Not intentional.
This scene was total foreshadowing to Shane and Oliver with their own child.
Yes, we spoke about this through text 100%. I can totally see Shane being like the calm mom, not getting herself too worked up, and then Oliver being like super strict.
Yes,
Totally see it.
yes. Good cop, bad cop.
Yes, good cop, bad cop, exactly.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oliver first mentions suspension, and Shane's like, Oliver!
I thought like Oliver trying to suspend Charlie was a little bit
Maybe.
much,
Yeah.
in my opinion, but you may think differently than me. But what did you think about that when he said that?
I mean, I was surprised that he went the suspension route, but I can kind of see where he was coming from
Right. Right.
because, I mean, it was not the right thing to do, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, she was just a teenager.
Right. Like you said, you do stupid things when you're a teenager. You do, and you learn from it. As long as you
Yeah.
learn from what like you did in the past, that's all that counts.
Yeah, agreed. And then he changes his mind to just going home for the day to
Mm-hmm.
think on what she did. Then Charlie actually does remember a Maria that was supposed to be the lead in the school play.
Mm-hmm.
She just disappeared and never graduated.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of Maria, why don't we get to that first letter to Maria?
Yes.
Dear Maria, I am shocked, dismayed, and quite hurt by your actions. I feel utterly betrayed by someone I considered to be a stellar student with great potential, and I was proud to be your mentor, and I thought your friend. When the police arrived today, it broke my heart, but you broke the law. I'm sorry to say that I will press charges. Life has consequences, Maria, and you must learn to face them, or this path of anger you continue to choose will become a way of life, and all you have worked for will be overtaken by self-entitlement and bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play ball for a living, you need to learn how to play ball in life. This is a difficult letter to write, but not all teaching happens in the classroom, and this is one lesson I feel I need to impart to you. As your theater teacher, I often emphasized that drama belongs on the stage, not, and then the rest is missing. So we don't hear the rest of the letter, but
Mm-hmm.
I love when Shane, at the end of that scene, she's like, are you really sure we have to deliver that? And Oliver says, I didn't just hear you say.
I love that scene too. That was a cute scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
I didn't just hear you say that.
Yeah.
That was a tough letter to just like hear them talk about it out loud. Like
Hmm.
that was rough.
Yeah, it was. So we find out that Maria ended up going to jail, and Shane ran a search in the 2017 Garfield High database,
Mm-hmm.
found two Marias, a Maria Haugen, who was never registered in the drama class, but a Maria Solinger was.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, 20 Maria Solingers in just Colorado were found, of course, by Shane, and only one matches their Maria's age. And that is where the trail stops for now.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing in the traditional news because of being under 18, but
Yes.
there was a lot of talk on the Garfield High chat room,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the comments say she could have gone Division 1, but she blew it. I heard she was sentenced to 30 days in juvie because that scholarship goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's the last comment we hear from the chat room.
Yes.
And then we hear that if she was sentenced, there would be court records, which would be tough to get through.
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, red
Yeah, she
tape
was
and
on.
all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was under the age of 18, so they would be sealed. So it will take a lengthy process to even try
Mhm.
to get their hands on those through the
Yep.
courts.
And even the public defender by the name of Ed Frank
Mm-hmm.
tells Rita and Norman when they meet with him that it could take months with no guarantee for access.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's what kind of happens in those situations sometimes.
Yeah. And this public defender actually supervised juvenile cases 7 years ago. And Maria's case was one of them, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He mentions that Maria was a good kid who had issues she needed to deal with and regretted what she did, but she deserved
Mm-hmm.
a second chance. He tried to give her one, and he hoped that she took it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Mr. Frank said that she deserved a second chance because everyone deserves a second chance.
Yes, 100% agree with you with that one. Yeah, she definitely did.
Yes. And I loved the high five from Rita and Norman at the end of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. One thing I also loved about this movie too, Nicole, I love how it Rita and Norman kind of took the reins of the investigation because
Yeah.
it's usually always Oliver and Shane that
Yeah.
that are like up front, like they're like the ones that usually in control of that. But I like that they
Yeah.
flipped it and
Yeah.
they made them take the steering wheel this time. I thought that
Yeah.
was fun. That was fun to watch.
Yes. And of course, we love Norman and Rita just as much as Oliver and Shane. We love
Yes.
all of our fabulous five.
Hmm.
And Rita and Norman did a great job
Yes.
pushing this letter mystery forward.
Hmm.
They eventually find Mrs. Philpot, and the two of them, along with Charlie, go see her at
Hmm.
her flower shop. And we hear that Maria could act on stage and lead a team on a softball field. The rule was if her grades went down, she couldn't play. When she failed
Hmm.
her final exam, she was benched on the very game that a college scout was attending just to see her. Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, that's rough.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is like when someone really important like that is just there to see you, and then something unfortunate like that happens, and like your whole, like you feel like your whole world is shattered.
I,
Yeah, that's hard.
yeah.
That's hard.
Maria begged her coach to look the other way, but he wouldn't. So she begged Mrs. Philpot to raise her grade, and of course, she wouldn't. She lost it by smashing her bat into Mrs. Philpot's windshield. No one
Mm-hmm.
was hurt, but once it was sorted out, Mrs. Philpot had missed a very consequential doctor's appointment, which was her first day of chemo. Oh,
Oh, I know that was, oh my, that scene really got me. Oh,
cancer is
horrible.
cancer is just horrible.
The most horrible disease
Hmm.
anybody can get. It's horrible.
Yeah. Maria was arrested for vandalism and expelled from school not long after Mrs. Philpott left school to work on her recovery.
Hmm.
Whenever she was looking for Maria, she would find her making out under the bleachers with a boy named Toby Seckham.
Hmm.
So that's where we hear more information on Maria's possible whereabouts.
Yes. Yep. Hmm.
Great little clue. I did love Mrs. Philpott's second letter. That was very touching.
Yeah, I like that they did that too because when Norman and Rita and Charlie went to go visit her at the flower shop,
Hmm.
like she didn't want the first letter that she wrote to Maria to be sent at all, but they had
Yeah.
to because it was in the hands of the post office now.
Yep.
So it had to be delivered. But
Yeah.
I like that Rita said, "Oh, but there's no reason we can't
I had a second
send
one.
write
Yeah.
two."
Yeah.
And so I like that they gave her the chance to write
Yeah.
another letter and saying like apologizing and all that stuff
Yeah.
to Maria. I thought that was very sweet.
Yes, it was. And I love when Shane and Oliver go meet with Maria to give her the letter.
I love that
She
scene.
picks up the second one first. She doesn't
Mm.
even look at the.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she looks at the first letter for a
Hmm.
second, and then she immediately picks up the second one instead,
Yes.
which I love.
Hmm. Hmm. I like that too.
Although I hated hearing after being in remission for a few years, the cancer has returned.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm.
that made me so sad when Oliver said that. I was like, mm.
Question, because this has been talked about on Twitter. Why do you think that Martha had Mrs. Philpot's cancer come back?
Oh wow, that is a really good question.
I could be wrong, but I feel like I might have seen one of the postables on Twitter say maybe it was to encourage Maria even more to go visit Mrs. Philpot and completely make
Oh,
things right.
oh right, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
That would be my
that
guess.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that is hard to hear
Yeah. Hmm.
someone
Very
have
hard to hear.
cancer that has come back.
Returned. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it probably made Maria. I'm like, I really want to go see her now because God forbid she passes away before I get to see her. I'll regret it.
And we do
Yeah.
see her visit,
Hmm. Yeah.
and everything is made right.
Hmm.
That's
I
great.
love that scene. That was so sweet. Even though it was really short, I loved it.
Me too.
Just seeing like their facial expressions when they first saw each other, I wanted to start crying.
Yeah, me too. So we get to the second letter, and this one is addressed to Charlie. And it says, Dear Charlie, I know this sounds crazy since we've only been friends up to now, but the truth is, I have feelings for you. They started the day we met, and they've just gotten deeper. And if I don't say something now, we could graduate, go our separate ways, and miss out on the best thing that could ever happen to us. So it's time for me to seize the day and just say it. I think I love you. And if you think you could feel the same way, then maybe after we graduate, even if it's not the three of us anymore, it could still be the two of us. Just think about it, please. And then it's signed LO something. And we don't know who it is yet, but Charlie thinks it's Barry because
Mhm.
of some of the misspelled words, like
Yes.
Steve in today.
Yeah. Yeah, the handwriting, like she realized it was the handwriting that gave it
Mhm.
away. She was definitely Barry's because Marlon's a really good speller. It has to be Barry's.
Yep. She hasn't kept in touch with either guy, and Shane mentions they could help her find Barry. But of course, Oliver's like, we are not in the business of locating lost crushes.
Yeah, he was totally against it. Totally against it. But Shane, of course, had other plans, which I'm happy she did
Yeah.
what she did.
Yes. Later that day, they are back at the DLO looking through the Garfield High yearbook of 2017, and we see that Charlie was voted most likely to have a happily ever after for senior superlatives, and Barry was voted most likely to own a car dealership, which is fun. Those are really creative senior superlatives.
Yeah, very creative.
Yeah,
I'm like owning a car dealership. I'm like, okay, that's something
yeah,
I really haven't heard before.
yeah. Did you get any senior superlatives in high school?
Not that I can think of. No, I definitely did
Oh,
not.
I got three. I totally was not expecting any of them. So I got nicest, most school spirit, and most likely to succeed.
Oh, really? Aw. Did I? No. Yeah. I mean, I had awards senior year, but awards my senior year, but nothing like that. Yeah, nothing of those type of awards. But I did get awards.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although getting awards does not matter in the scheme of things, but it is
Right.
humbling and nice.
Hmm. Yeah. It's nice to be recognized, like for
Yeah.
something like you worked hard for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess because I was a cheerleader, maybe they voted for me for most school spirit because of that.
Maybe.
So, fun story. I was on the yearbook staff junior and senior year. And no, I did not have influence on the votes. I promise. they were voted on by the senior class, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were, short one category for the senior superlatives. And we were trying to think of what it could be. And I think
Mm-hmm.
my yearbook advisor came up with, most likely to succeed. And then
Oh.
she just picked it. She was like, okay, it's going to be you and you because we didn't have time to do any more voting. It's
Right, right. So it was like a coin toss type of situation. Toss a coin.
like, okay, I'll take it.
Why not?
Oh my goodness. But yeah,
That's fun
fun
though.
times. Loved being on the yearbook staff. But we are not talking about our high school experiences. We are talking about Charlie's and Barry's and Marlon's. I love when, we hear that Charlie was voted most likely to have a happily ever after, and then Shane and Oliver get into the argument, and as she's walking out, Shane says to Charlie, if you do decide to check him out, whatever you do, don't do it on postal time.
She was pissed. I think that's the first time in this whole. No, actually, I take that back. There are two other times I remember Shane being really angry at Oliver, and it's in Paris from Paris with Love when they got into the argument on the street,
Yep.
and in The Edge of Forever when they got into the argument, her and him, about finding Holly. That's the only two times I remember her really getting like upset with him. But this
Mhm.
time was like on a whole nother level. I was like, ooh, the sass is back.
Yep. So we hear that Barry really is a car salesman in town, and he is married with a 3-year-old son. I love Charlie's reaction. She's like, you're married
Yeah.
with a kid.
Yeah. She was so taken aback. She goes, yep. She goes, she's probably thinking to herself, yep, can't go out with him now.
He wrote the letter as a joke and signed it Love Marlon because Marlon had a major crush on Charlie and Barry was always teasing him about it. Of course, Marlon got really upset when he found out that Barry got that letter. And towards the end of the movie, we hear that Charlie used to imagine running into Marlon someday. And then she had a marriage that lasted about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eleanor, which of course will last a lifetime.
Mm.
And she thinks that her chance with Marlon is gone.
Mm-hmm. Which was sad.
I know.
Because she really honestly didn't know until she asked. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never
Yeah.
gonna know unless you ask or try
Yeah.
to reach out.
And I love Oliver's reaction to Marlon showing up. He's like, Miss McInerney.
What's going on, Miss
What is he
McInerney?
doing here?
You know, he's like, hello, can I help you?
Yes. And we find out that the third letter that the postables mentioned was unreadable because of the writing being smudged
Mm-hmm.
is Marlon.
Yeah,
And which I love that little twist at the end.
me too. I absolutely love
Yeah.
that too. I thought that was really, really smart how they did that. I was like, wow, that's actually really good how they added that in.
Yeah. So Marlon's letter, Dear Charlie, about an hour ago, Barry wrote a stupid letter to you and signed my name and mailed it. It's embarrassing. So if you open this letter first, please just throw Barry's away. But if it's too late and you've already read his, then I hope you'll ignore it. Don't get me wrong, he's right about me. I do have feelings for you, but I'm working on how to say that in my own way, in my own time. So please don't feel like you have to answer this. Just remember, somebody's always writing about love. But I think the best love just gets lived. I hope I live long enough to tell you that someday, face to face, the way you deserve.
Mm.
Such a sweet letter.
I know, it's so touching.
Yeah. And Charlie's reaction as she's reading it, and then after,
Right.
just
So I know. I love how right away she was like the only one that can read his hand. And then Maria's
Yes.
like, "You can read that?" She goes, and
Yeah.
then Marlon goes, "She's the only one that can read my handwriting."
It was so sweet and seeing her.
No, very sweet. And he was so good with Eleanor too. I'm like,
Oh,
"No, you got a
men
winner."
and babies. There's just something about men
I
and babies.
I don't know what it is. It makes me melt.
Yes. They would make a really cute couple.
No, they would. They
Yeah,
really
really
would.
cute family. Marlon and Charlie love takeout, and we hear he's in law school and is in the top 10% of his class, and he has never missed a car payment. A solid guy, as Shane says,
Yes.
which I loved that little end to Charlie's storyline in this.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Like they close it out so like perfectly,
Yeah,
like tie like in a neat little bow.
yes. And may I just say, I loved that dress that Charlie was wearing at the end.
Oh, the plaid one. I know that wasn't that
I would
so
totally
cute.
wear that.
No, me too.
That was so cute. And the
It was.
shoes and the blue sweater. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally wear something like that. Well, I think that wraps up the letter story of this amazing movie. And there is so much more to unpack with A Tale of Three Letters that I think we're going to have to pick it back up in a part two. So
Yes,
stay
we
tuned
definitely had to.
when we will talk about Rita and Norman and Shane and Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for listening, Postables. We hope you enjoyed part one of our review of A Tale of Three Letters. If you enjoyed this episode, you can like this video and share your thoughts on the letter story in the comments. If you want to make sure you don't miss part two, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell so you are alerted when that notification comes. We hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.